Julie Blanner from the lifestyle website, julieblanner.com, and I love organization that blends design and function. And today I'm going to share our kitchen organization project with you. If you're new here, welcome. Don't forget to click subscribe because I'd love to see you again soon. I share at least 2 new videos each week of home decor, easy entertaining ideas like how to arrange flowers, and recipes as well. This month, I've been sharing an array of organization projects in a series I call Organize With Me. I take you behind the scenes to see the good, the bad, and the ugly as I organize our home one space at a time. Today, I'm sharing how I organized our kitchen over 1 year ago and how I've managed to keep it that way even with 3 small children and the husband. And so I'm really excited to join my friends, Lisa of Farmhouse and Boone, Laura of Our Oily House, and Chloe of Boxwood Avenue today, who are sharing their kitchen organization projects with you as well for an abundance of inspiration that is sure to start your year off right. Don't forget to stop by each of their videos and tell them I said hello. You will absolutely adore them all, and they're all real life friends as well. Now, there are a few simple strategies to organizing any space, but in particular, a kitchen. And the first one is decluttering. Now, when you're decluttering your kitchen, you're going to want to pull everything out to start with, eliminate any excess, anything that's expired, and anything that's infrequently used or broken. This should eliminate quite a bit in your kitchen, at least if it's anything like ours was, and really set you up for success. Now, the next thing you need to do is you need to make sure you take it one space at a time. You don't want to end up being the Tasmanian devil who spins around and kind of collects it all and dumps it all back out. Take it one cabinet, one pantry, one refrigerator at a time to make it really achievable, and that way it also reduces the risk of spilling over into other areas of your home or just kind of getting thrown back into another drawer. So I found that that is really a strategy that will set you up for success. Another strategy I like to use when organizing our kitchen is to clean it. It seems so simple, right? But if you're removing everything out of the cabinet or drawer, it's the perfect opportunity to really wipe it down and start with a fresh slate. And finally, the last strategy that I use when organizing is to keep things accessible. Think about where you use the items and where they should really belong. It's a perfect time to see if something needs to be relocated. For example, I like to keep cooking utensils next to the range, as well as pot holders. I like to keep knives by my prep area, which is the kitchen island, so I keep them immediately behind there. So think about where you use them, and that will help you decide where they really need to go. You also want to keep small appliances at eye level, again, to make them really accessible if they're not something that is going to remain out on your countertop, which we'll talk about in a few minutes. When organizing your kitchen, you're going to want to implement systems. This will help you not only get organized, but maintain it, which is really important so that you don't have to do this all over again 6 months or a year down the line. An example of this in our kitchen is our refrigerator and pantry. I organized them with the girls in mind, with them packing their school lunches and snacks. So I like to keep the meat drawer nice, clean, and tidy with the cheeses and fruits and veggies in the drawer below, and they know that they can get 2 things from each drawer to pack their lunch, and then over in the pantry cabinet they can get 1 thing from there, and they have like a total snack bin and they have like a lunch bin, and they know that they can choose from 1 for snack time and 1 for lunch time. So consider what your needs are and find a system that works for you, and it will be really easy to maintain, and chances are it will save you a lot of time in your day-to-day tasks. I also recommend you use thoughtful storage. I like to make things clean and tidy and look nice in addition to actually serving a function. Another way you can do that is through thoughtful storage. Of course, you know that I love to use baskets. You can use baskets under your kitchen sink, you can use them in your pantry, even in drawers and your refrigerator. Wherever you use baskets, think about grouping things together. You can eliminate waste. When we bring groceries home, Annie's job is to remove everything from its packaging and put them into the appropriate baskets. It keeps things nice, clean, and tidy. Then we don't have a bunch of boxes stacked up in our pantry that are all going to come spilling out. And it also is visually appealing as well. Now we also use baskets underneath our kitchen sink, and that prevents chemicals, the cleaners, from tipping over and keeps them all nice and tidy and in together. If you do have any kind of leakage or anything, you can easily remove the basket, rinse the basket, and put it back in instead of damaging your cabinets. So I highly recommend using them where they work for you. So anything unsightly, I tend to put in a basket or a closed canister that you can't see through. I also like to use open canisters like Crocs. They're perfect for storing cleaning utensils underneath the sink or dishwasher pods, but they're also really great next to the range for all your frequently used cooking utensils together. I also like to incorporate trays. That's another thoughtful kitchen storage idea, and the reason why is trays, again, group things together nicely. We have one next to our sink, which stores our hand soap and dish soap. You can even combine those if you'd like and just use hand soap in a pump. And our frequently used cleaning spray. I like to get that out often. I clean our countertops multiple times in a day, so I like to keep that accessible. And when you keep them on a tray, the tray itself is really easy to clean. And then, when you slam those down, it doesn't harm our marble countertops. Another way you can use trays in your kitchen is, of course, utensil trays inside of drawers. Those keep everything in its place, and they keep it nice and clean and tidy. You can use as few or as many as you need. You can use blank slate ones, you can use ones designed for utensils, and mix and match them to fit your drawers. You can see more of that in my Organize With Me series, and even see what my junk drawer looked like before. I also like to use a tray in our bar area to store our liqueurs. It's really beautiful, it's really functional, and just adds another layer of warmth. In addition, another thing that I like to use in our kitchen that earned a spot on our countertop is our knife block. That makes them easy and accessible to grab when I'm doing all of our food prep at the island. They're just behind me, but stowed away from the children. You can also use a knife tray in a drawer or even a magnetic strip, whatever works for you, but that's another thing that I really like to have really thoughtful storage for. Another storage solution I like to use are clear canisters. For anything that you frequently grab or that's not unsightly, clear canisters work really well because you can just see exactly what you need and grab it quickly. So I like to store all our flours and our sugars in clear canisters, as well as in our pantry. I store all of our nuts and crackers and things like that in clear little canisters, and they stack really nice, which also maximizes space. Another place where you can use clear glass jars is in your spice cabinet. When you use clear glass jars, you can not only see exactly what you have, but it keeps them all clean and concise and really visually appealing. I don't know about you, but I can't stand like mix-matched spices, and then you end up with like 10 of the same kind. You don't really know what you have or what you need. Maybe that's just me, but that's how it landed for us when we decided to veer away from them for a while. And we went back last year, and I could not be happier. I love having it that way. And then when I'm running low on something, I can just quickly add it to my grocery list instead of ending up with 5 containers of cinnamon, which no one needs unless they're making my cinnamon ornaments. You can find all of my favorite storage containers linked in the description below. If you have a small kitchen or you're just short on storage space, you can maximize space with just a couple of simple tricks. First of all, utilizing a lazy Susan. I don't know who Susan is or how she got so lazy, but I love her because they're perfect for getting to the back of the cabinet so you can have a ton of things in one place that won't tip over and get to it quickly. We use them here in our spice cabinet, and they spin easily, and then you can see exactly what you have. You can grab it and go. And I use them to maximize space and also prevent things from tipping over. And I love these bamboo because they blend so nicely with my cabinets. Another way you can maximize space, again, is by using all consistent containers. So for storage, you can use all the same storage containers and they stack really nice on top of one another, like they do in our baking cabinet and again in our pantry cabinet. But you can also use the same dishes. So you never run the risk of putting a small plate under a large plate and having them all tumble over again. Another thing I like to do is I like to keep it cohesive. Last year we eliminated all the kids' dishes. They were all mix and match princesses and gosh, they were in various shapes and sizes. And anytime you opened up the cabinet, they all came spilling out. And it just got to be really frustrating and it kind of felt like underappreciated anyways. Nobody really cared what plate they got that day. So I replaced them all with consistent white melamine dishes and clear plastic cups. And now they stack so nice and easily. They consume far less space. Instead of consuming 2 layers of a cabinet, they consume 1/2 of one shelf. So it really reduced the amount of space that they take and nothing tumbles under. And it makes it easier for the kids to put dishes away after dinner as well. A few well-selected items can add a lot of function to your home and lifestyle. For example, I like to use all white dishes that I can dress up for special occasions or dress down for every day. We don't need to consume any additional cabinet space this way, and it's all really nice and cohesive. When you open the cabinet, it looks picture perfect and is at any given time. I replace all packaging in our refrigerator and its original containers with my reusable containers. And the reason why is that it not only keeps it nice and cohesive and peaceful when you open up the refrigerator, but I can also mark dates on it with a Sharpie marker, which washes off in the dishwasher, or you can wipe it off with a little bit of nail polish remover. But it's visually appealing, and again, you know exactly what you have, what you need, what's expired. It just seems to work for us while keeping it really nice and clean and neat. And it keeps things from becoming too untidy or leaking in your refrigerator. I have a couple of rules of thumb on what goes on your countertops. Now, I know that this will vary for everyone, but these are just a few little ideas to help you determine what should stay and what should go. If it's something you use frequently, by all means, it should stay. I want everything to be as convenient for you as possible because after all, cooking and cleaning is enough work on its own. So, for example, I like to keep my dish soap easily accessible right next to my sink, but instead of having it in the plastic container, I put it in a nice, beautiful glass dispenser, and so that way it's visually appealing and yet very functional. So I think you can really blend, again, that design and function element and make it work for you. I keep my cleaning spray next to the sink because I use it so often, so that stays. Our knife block stays. My big booze cutting block is always out on my countertop at the island because I use that very frequently, as well as my crock, Chris's coffee pot, and of course my KitchenAid mixer. Now I know, again, the mixer, that is very personal to each person. Some people use them very often, some people very infrequently. I tend to use mine 3 or more times a week between baking, maybe even mixing up some pancakes or making homemade pasta. So for me, that warrants a little real estate on my countertop. Now, if it's something that you use infrequently, think about where you store it. You can store it at eye level. If it's something like a heavier appliance, you want to make sure that that's accessible. But if it's something that's very infrequently used, that's a good candidate for a top shelf. For our pots and pans, I've kept those really accessible next to our range, and I have pull-outs in the drawers, which makes them easy to get to. Nothing gets lost in the back, but they also stack nicely inside one another because I kept it consistent with the same brand. Same for a lot of my bakeware. That all stacks really nicely, and we have pull-outs. It makes it really accessible and easy to grab when you need it. For all of my cast iron, I have a separate cabinet for them, and I like to stow those away there, and it's nice, clean, cohesive. I kind of like to show it off every now and then. I think it's just such a pretty cabinet, and I love using cast iron, but they're so big, heavy, and bulky that I decided they receive their own space. Now, some things that are prettier, like your fruits and things like that, you can store in a bowl on top of your countertops, or our platters, we hang those on the walls and display those in our hutch. So that also makes a really great storage solution that, again, lens design, which is our theme here today. It was so great having you here today. Don't forget to click subscribe. I look forward to seeing you again soon.